welcome back to the Citytilidie channel. We're all staying safe and well, and yes, a History Boys feature. We usually have regular things on this, but occasionally I throw one in, and of course with the recent 4-4 draw at Chelsea, of course people have been mentioning that a 4-4 scoreline has happened before with City, it's happened before with Chelsea, but it's happened apparently 3 other times, so this is the 4th time in history. I've not gone back year by year. I'm not Gary James with this encyclopedic memory to know if that's correct or not, but I can only go off what I've read on social media that this is the 4th one. So I'll look back at the other 3. So that's what I've done. I've dug up the other 3 and just have a quick look. A couple of them reasonable reports. One of them, even though it's the more modern report, of course, we were in the 2nd division, so it's probably not widely as reported. So, but I've got all the information together for you for a little interesting little vlog on the time that we shared 8 goals with our opponents. So we'll have a look at that today. Please, if you're new to the channel, push that subscribe button, push the bell notifications. Everything City, past like this and present, of course. Great to have you on board. Spread the word. I've just passed 3,500 subscribers, so all your support is very welcome. Keep spreading that word and keep, pass me on to other guys who might be interested in these sort of things. But of course, all the new stuff as well as the old stuff. Right, give us a thumbs up, guys, if you like it. Press that little like button. Right, the first 4-4 that we've got down was against Everton in the 1925-26 season. It happened on the 19th of September, 1925 at Main Road. It was match day 5 of that season, as we call it now, out of 42, of course. Tommy Browell with all 4 City goals in that one. A crowd, not the greatest crowd, 11,393. Just to put that into context, a week previously we played that lot down the road, United, and we'd had almost 63,000 in Main Road. So yeah, 11,393 were sort of rattling around it at the time. Of course, that 63,000 wasn't a record against United, but it just shows the difference, isn't it? 52,000 fans. I'm sure they weren't all United fans, the difference, but there you go. Prior to the game, City sat 19th in the table, so we weren't doing very well, and Everton sat 7th. And in the previous 4 games, we'd won 1, lost 2 and drawn 1, scoring 4 and letting in 5. The City 11 that day, Fred Mitchell in goal, Sam Cookson, Phil McCloy, Sammy Sharp, Sam Cowan, Charlie Pringle, Billy Austin, Frank Roberts, the great Frank Roberts, Tommy Browell, Tommy Johnson, George Hicks. Of course, Tommy Browell, I've also done a Streets Around Main Road feature on Tommy Browell as well, guys, way back in time, so check that one out if it's on there. There's a couple I've still not published yet. The Everton scorers were 2 from a Fred Kennedy, Robert Irvine, and some bloke that I've not really heard of much, Dixie Dean. I think he was pretty good, wasn't he? The key events of the match, Dean put Everton ahead on 4 minutes, Kennedy made it 2-0 on 15, and Irvine scored after 25 minutes to make it 3-0 to Everton. Of course, Browell scored all ours. He pulled one back for us on 35 minutes. But before half-time, Kennedy for Everton made it 4-1. So all seemed over, but there were circumstances that happened to change the game. Yeah, our fight back began in the second half. On 47 minutes, Browell made it 4-2. Everton lost Young, their player Young, with an injury. There was no subs, of course, in them days on 50 minutes, so they were down to 10 men. On 67 minutes, Browell closed the gap to 4-3. Dixie Dean then had to withdraw through injury, so they ended up with nine men, poor 9-man Everton there, but they couldn't hold out, and in the 86th minute, there wouldn't have been loads of injury time in those days. In the 86th minute, there probably should have been, in the 86th minute, Browell made it 4-4. And of course the 25-26 season is that's synonymous, apparently synonymous. I think this has come from one of Gary James' books, with the phrase typical City, because at the end of the season City sat 4th bottom prior to the final game at Newcastle, which ended up as a 3-2 loss, and with 2 of the other 3 teams below us winning, we were dumped out of the division in a season where we actually lost the FA Cup final as well, so not fantastic. In the reverse fixture at Goodison, it ended 1-1. That was on February 10th with Frank Roberts, the City scorer. That was the last City game for Tommy Boy Browell's played in the last match that season. He scored all 4, of course, but he joined from Everton and he moved to Blackpool, Tommy Browell, and he received the honour, of course, I've already mentioned, of having a street named after him near Main Road. Tommy Browell, Tommy Browell close. Interesting enough, that same day there was a cracking game at White Hart Lane where Spurs and Huddersfield drew 5-5. Next up was our 2023 4-4ers, of course. Chelsea, yes, we had a 4-4 back with them back in 1936-37. And of course, you history buffs or City knowledges will know we won the title that season. At Main Road in the reverse fixture back on September the 26th, it had been a boring 0-0 draw. Well, on the face of it, our only 0-0 of the season that season. The attendance at Main Road that day was 30,004. The visit to the bridge was on February the 3rd for match day 26 of 42 in 1937. Doherty with 2, Bray and Tilson were the City scorers, and the crowd at packed Stamford Bridge, well, 11,620, not quite so packed. The game was played on a Wednesday night. Not many City fans there, I don't think. City had been in FA Cup action the previous Saturday in a 2-0 home win over Accrington Stanley. Who were they? The City starting lineup for this Chelsea game: Frank Swift, of course, Billy Dale, Sam Barkers, Jack Percival, Bobby Marshall, Jackie Bray, Ernie Toseland, Alec Hurd, Fred Tilson, Peter Doherty and Eric Brook. Cracking team. City were 2-1 down at the break. One of the Chelsea goals by the Chelsea big number 9, George Mills, appeared to be put in by his hand. Where's VAR when you need it? George Gibson had put Chelsea ahead before a long-range equaliser by City's Jackie Bray. City, though, turned it round in the second half, taking a 4-2 lead. Peter Doherty masterminded the first 2 goals for City in the second half after some good interplay and football by City. Fred Tilson gave us a seemingly winning 4-2 lead. He scored that from a Toseland cross. Chelsea's Mills, though, had other ideas. He became their hero with goals, a long-range drive, and then he headed home a free kick. I don't think he used his hands that time to complete his hat-trick, or hand-trick, depending which way you look at it, to complete that comeback. He almost had a 4th and a surprise win for Chelsea, but a stunning, brilliant save by our Frankie Swift denied him. Despite the Chelsea fight back, most thought, both North and South pundits and journalists, that City were deserving of winning that game. On the same day, another thriller at the baseball ground. Yes, Derby 5, Arsenal 4. Chelsea, strangely enough, since that game have been involved in a few 4-4s. They had actually had 8 after that game before the one against us in November 2023. Of course, as mentioned, we won the title this season by 3 points to Charlton, and we'd gone 22 games unbeaten by the end of the season, the club's best record at the time. And on to the final one before this 2023 4-4 thing that we've recently had for fling with Chelsea. This is one we don't know as much about because City were not languishing. It was only our first and only season in Division 2 in 1950-51 season, but there's not a lot of match reports, etc. to pick up on this one. I actually had an old City programme that mentioned the game, but very little was said, unfortunately, about it. This was match day 6 of 42 when we visited Grimsby at Blundell Park on the 6th of September 1950. We'd been relegated the previous season. I'd made a good start though this season. The first 5 games we topped the league with 4 wins and a draw, and we scored 14 and let 6 in. A crowd at Blundell Park of 18,529 watched this cracker, a few Blues in attendance. City's 11 that day: Bert Troutman, Ernie Phillips, Eric Westwood, Bill Spurdle, Jack Rigby, Roy Paul, Jackie Oakes, Johnny Hart, Dennis Westcott, George Smith and Roy Clark. Yes, a few chats with Roy Clark over the years. Sadly no longer with us, as most of those guys are, unfortunately, as we know. In the 4-4 draw, Grimsby had led at half-time 1-0, but goals by Spurdle, a couple from them by Westcott and Clark, helped share the points that left us sitting second in the division. Yeah, certain Preston North End were to sort of take the plaudits that season. On the same day, eventual second division champions Preston had beat Chesterfield 4-1 at home. The reverse fixture was interesting as well. The final game of the season is 2-2 draw, Smith and Westcott scoring for City. But this doomed Grimsby to relegation and sealed City's second spot behind Preston for City's promotion back to the First Division after just a 12-month absence. The crowd for that final game of the season at Main Road was 30,293. So there you go. Not only significant seasons, but in all 3 cases, neither team beat the other that season. All the reverse fixtures ended up as draws as well, or right, not 4-4 draws, but they all ended up at draws. Let's hope we change that pattern when Chelsea visit the Etihad next February. We don't want to draw against them, do we? Anyway, hope you enjoyed this, guys. Hope you enjoyed this little look back. I would say normally share any memories, but unless you were at 1950-51 game and you're older than poor old me, then there probably won't be many memories. But you might have memories from other things, from ex-players, as say Roy Clark, all these guys mentioned, who may have talked about any of these 4-4 draws, but all very significant, of course. In City season as a whole. So hopefully this one against Chelsea in 2023, I'm sure will be a significant season for City as well. Thanks for watching, guys. Until we meet again, we only have one thing, don't I? Please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Bye for now.